Winners don't do different things, they do things differently.
Leadership basically needs two things. One, character, and two, courage. Character without courage is useless, and courage without character is oppression.
Pursue happiness, don't pursue money.
Do you know who says money is not important? Either they're stupid or they're billionaires. I'd rather be unhappy with money than without money.
Right.
We need to become tolerant. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
Totally incorrect answer.
Oh, really?
I don't like this word tolerance.
There's this constant need and this constant pressure like go, go, go. This milestone achieved. Okay, now what's next? Don't rest.
You got a job, you got a problem. You don't have a job, you got a problem.
Welcome to another episode of Thai Talks. Today we have a guest that I don't need to introduce a lot, but I will give some hints there. He's an author, an educator, and a business consultant. You've probably read one of his books. You've probably heard one of his talks. You've probably seen his pictures in one of the airports or at the bookstores. And if none of that, you've probably heard his most famous phrase. Winners don't do different things. They do things differently. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Shiv Khera to our podcast.
Ritu, thanks a lot for inviting me. I'm grateful.
Great. So, Mr. Khera, there's a lot that's already been asked, but I thought today we will do something different because we are talking to the Thai community. Tell me, in your work, because you've been doing this for a really long time, what are some of the leadership traits that have stood the test of times?
People keep talking what has changed, what has stayed there. You know something, nothing has changed. In fact, if you go back and look at the leadership traits right early, I'll share with you one little example.
Sure.
Alexander's story is very clear. He was a big conqueror and he went one war after the other and kept winning. But at some point, his troops were exhausted and they were in a desert and they needed some water badly. Now, a scout team went up, got a cup of water, only one cup, and they saw everybody was thirsty. So was Alexander himself, the king. So they gave that cup to Alexander to drink that water. And when Alexander saw all his troops thirsty, their eyes, he spilled the water in front of everybody. And he said, "What good is it for me to drink this water when my all troops are thirsty?" Now, he could not give water to them. But what he gave to them was much more than water. He gave them the spirit and the motivation. And when the troops saw him do that, they said, "Man, that's our leader. That's our leader." You know something? This has never changed. So basically, what is leadership? Leadership basically needs two things. One, character, and two, courage. Character without courage is useless, and courage without character is oppression. They start becoming dictators and they start oppressing. But out of the whole thing, vision is crucial. Now, Walt Disney was very successful at Disneyland in California. He wanted to create the Disney World in Orlando.
Yeah.
Construction went full steam ahead. But before the opening, Walt Disney died. On the opening day, two of the executives were talking between themselves. Too bad. Walt Disney is not alive to see all this. And the other person said, "Walt Disney saw all this. That's why you and I are here." Yeah. This is called the power of vision. Now, why am I sharing this story with you? You know something, today, there is a dearth of good leadership all over the world. Where have the good leaders gone? Where are the Lincolns and where are the Kennedys? You don't see them up there. And that is really the sad part. So to answer your question, the traits have not changed. Traits have not changed. And let me share with you what makes a good leader. I believe it's Lee Iacocca once said, "It is better to be a good follower than a poor leader." A leader must have power. What are the three sources of power? This is called 3 P's of power. See, one is called position power. Titles give you power, CEO, MD, DD, whatever that is. Positions and titles give you power. But you see, people who get power from positions and titles, you take away the title and the power goes away. See, this very important thing. Positions and titles give you authority, and authority gives you power, but only good behavior gives respect. That's the key. One. In fact, the only leader that I can think of, great leader, was Lee Kuan Yew. Amazing. Yeah. One man changed the whole country. And really, whenever things have happened, it's only one person, not the groups. Crowds have not done anything. It's the one person. But you see, one is called position power, second is called personality power. Now, don't get me wrong, personality is important. Many schools, colleges teach personality development, PD. Now, personality is important. It opens the doors for you. But if you have personality, no character, the door opens and then it closes.
Yeah.
See, and third is principles-based power. Power that comes out of principles in life. See, you look some of the greatest leaders in the world, Lincoln, Gandhi, all of these guys, they were not good-looking people. Gandhi was not a good-looking guy, nor was Lincoln. But you know something? They got power from principles in life. They were tall, they were short, they were fat, they were bald, but the principles were strong. That's what gave them power. Now, one more thing. What is your winning combination? Your winning combination is personality and principle together. That's your winning combination. Now, every leader in the world, Ritu, also has to make three kinds of decisions, which we call the 3 C's of decision. One is called decision of command. Leader is alone. He has to take a call, nobody to help, but he has to take a call alone by himself. Second is C is called decision of consultation.
Yeah.
Why do you have committees? Why do you have teams? Reason, what is it? You know what the reason is? It is called collective wisdom. 5 wise people can come up with a decision or a conclusion much better than one wise person. Now, just see what we're talking about. But there is an underlying assumption that you do have 5 wise people.
Yeah.
What if you have 5 fools? You got collective foolishness. Many times you hear that the leader is good, but his advisors are bad.
Yeah.
You heard that. Now, see, this really is not true. Tell me, who picks the advisors? Always the leader picks his own advisors. Go check out all over the world. Wherever the leadership changes, advisory team changes. Everywhere, all over. A honest entrepreneur will have an honest attorney, honest accountant, advisor.
Yeah.
A crooked entrepreneur will have a crooked attorney and crooked accountant as advisor. You know what? Level of comforts are there.
Yeah.
The values match. That's the problem. You see, this is called decision of consultation. And the third C of decision is called decision of consensus. Now, consensus is based on the principles of democracy. Majority vote wins. Majority vote wins. Now, you see, tell me, is consensus always right? Answer is no.
No.
In fact, most of the time it is wrong. Greatest leaders in the world, they never had consensus. They always created consensus. Lincoln was the only person in the parliament stood up against slavery. The entire consensus was against him. See, consensus is based on principles of democracy. That is why a good leader must create consensus. And one last thing I want to say, you will find all over the world, good leaders never believed in appeasement. You know who is an appeaser? Appeaser is a person who keeps throwing meat at the crocodile, hoping someday the crocodile will become a vegetarian and will not eat him. But it never happens. He eats all the meat, and then meat finishes, then he eats the person who gives the meat. So keep in mind, appeasement has failed all over the world. This is what we talk leadership.
Okay, great. I mean, there were so many nuggets there. I want to decode one or two of them a little bit further. Again, putting the context of entrepreneurs, as you mentioned, is, the position, right? You talked about the 3 Ps, the first one being the titles and the position. typically an entrepreneur probably does not have that, right? How can entrepreneurs kind of leverage that or can lean into that to make sure what they are building right from day one lives by the principles?
Well, that's where we talk in terms of character. Now, to clarify this, see, sadly, today, in even many business schools and many colleges that teach that values are subjective. They keep changing from person to person, situation to situation. And I ask people, even my audience, they say, yeah, values are subjective. And I said, if you said yes to this question, means you have no values. You have no values at all. It is ridiculous. And when we talk of values, whose values are we talking about? Who are we to judge? And what says my values are right? See, when we talk of values, we always talk of not your and my values. We are talking of universal and eternal values. Let me qualify the two words. Universal means they cross country, cross culture, cross religion. And eternal means they were here before we came, and they will be here after we are gone. Now, once I was doing a program in the US, and when we came to this point, the anchor asked me a question. Mr. Khera, you are saying there are some rights and wrongs. But haven't you heard the statement by Shakespeare who said, nothing is right or wrong, your thinking makes it so? You are contradicting Shakespeare. I said, good, because I don't agree with Shakespeare. He said, well, that's not good enough. Well, you need to justify. I said, all right, here's an exam. If there are no rights and wrongs and everything is subjective, then every criminal in this world should be released from the jail. Why? You say they're wrong, they didn't think so, go keep arguing. If there are no rights and wrongs in this world, then Hitler was totally right. Who says he was wrong? You say he was wrong, he didn't think so, go keep arguing for the rest of your life. You know what their answer is? Nothing is right or wrong, your thinking makes it so. Go tell that person. You know something? This is so ridiculous. There are some universal benchmarks. Now, whatever profession you are in, whether leadership, coaching, or whatever you do, you have some quality standards, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't have them, could you ever achieve them? Now, how do you achieve universal benchmarks on values and ethics? Let me share with you a 1-minute quick story. See, there was a lady waiting for a bus. She had 2 bags of groceries in her hand. Right behind her was a big boy also waiting for the bus. Bus came. The bus was totally packed. There was only one seat available at the far end, and the elderly lady started moving to get that seat. This big boy came from behind, threw his big arm around the lady, took a big step, and he took that seat. Now, this elderly lady fell on the floor, bags of groceries got scattered, and she was lying totally helpless. Now, there were many passengers in the bus. One of them was a sophisticated lady. She started thinking, how clumsy of this boy. She's looking at the manners and etiquette. There's a lawyer in the bus who thinks there must be a law against this kind of behavior. There's a surgeon in the bus who thinks this lady must have broken 3 ribs. Fourth, there was a psychiatrist who thinks this boy is psychotic, needs mental help. But not one of them asked this question, was this behavior right or wrong? Now, why don't we ask that question? Because the moment we do, we become judgmental. But let me ask you, if your values are clear, what's wrong in being judgmental? Now, I have 2 questions. Number 1, should this boy have behaved like this with this lady? Answer is
no.
No.
Yeah.
2, should anyone behave like this with anybody? Answer is no. That's universal. See, that is universal. The moment you ask no to the second question is, you know something, establishing universal benchmarks is not difficult.
Yeah.
Do you realize that every medical doctor who graduates, they have to take an oath of Hippocrates? Do you know how old is that oath? 2,000 years. Have you ever read that oath? If you haven't, go read it. It is only 2 paragraphs. Do you need any more values than that one? Every lawyer, when they graduate, they have to take oath of code of conduct.
Right.
Go ask them, how long is that oath? Every civil servant, every politician, they all have to take an oath. How long is that oath? 4 lines, 5 lines, 6 lines. You know something? Clarifying values is not difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what is difficult? We don't have the guts to face up to them.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
escape by saying it is subjective. I'm not
Correct.
clear. They choose to remain confused. It is not difficult at all.
Yeah. Which kind of leads me to this. The next question is, and it's really great point about values and how some of them are universal values and everybody, it's there. Like you just follow those universal values. What should, I can't say just founders, but in general, leaders, founders, entrepreneurs, whoever, what do they do or what should they do, if there is a should, when they are tested? Because that's when people start to have a subjective or a judgmental or whatever you may call it. Like they'd say, oh, values are subjective. When they hit maybe a crossroad or maybe when it's a tough decision, right? It's they're conflicted on certain values that they say they stand by. How important it is for a founder or an entrepreneur to kind of stick to the values irrespective of what the conflict is.
Okay, especially you mentioned the word entrepreneur. Should they stick to, and how can they stick to the values? Now, let me share. There is a study, you can Google it. Value-based organizations. Now, obviously, there's an entrepreneur behind it.
Yes.
Value-based organizations, check out their profitability is 15% higher than non-value-based organizations. Okay. Now, normally I wouldn't take names, but yes, my opinion, Tata's organization from India is a great, great organization that demonstrate great values all through. And whenever we have to buy anything, we have given clear instructions to our office. Only buy, if Tata sells, buy from Tata's. Okay. I'm not getting paid for Tata's, by the way, for advertising, but I believe in it. And I'll tell you one thing, when Ratan Tata passed away, the whole country, in fact, many parts of the world, people were so sorry and depressed as if their personal guardian went away. Now, prime ministers come and go, presidents come and go, nobody cares. And some of the prime minister people say, oh, it's good riddance to bad rubbish, he's dead. He was the one who was ruining it. And probably some of them are right now in the world running and messing up the whole place anyway. You know that. But bottom line is, they stood by values. And the same thing comes back. But with your permission, I was addressing at one time a high net worth people. Now, HNIs are defined differently in different countries, by the way.
Yes.
And some people define $250,000, $500 billion, and so on. Now, we do a 4-day leadership program. And sometimes people come up to me and they say, Mr. Khera, you do talk about money, but money is not important. So I have written my book and I talk in my 4-day leadership program. Do you know who says money is not important? Either they're stupid or they're billionaires.
Yeah.
Either they're stupid or they're billionaires. Nobody else says money is not important. And then they say, money doesn't bring you happiness. So I asked them, does poverty bring you happiness? Well, if I have to be unhappy, I'd rather be unhappy with money than without money.
Right.
I started life washing cars in the US and Canada. I come from a business family where we had 1,000 people working for us. So I was born with a silver spoon. We came to the street. Government took everything. So I started life there. And eventually, God was kind. So I started selling life insurance, moved on to US, got into 3 businesses. I bought a company out of California in 1984 and started a New Jersey operation with no clients. And I sold my company with close to 500 clients. But you see, I was selling insurance. I was on 100% commission. Now, if I didn't sell, I wouldn't get any money.
Yeah.
And I had no money. But I saw in my company, there were some people who were getting salaries, but they were not doing their job. That's the time I understood and learned the difference between making money versus earning money. Making money is criminal. earning money is spiritual.
Yeah.
Now, what is the difference? What is the difference? Difference is when you earn money, you put your energy and ethics behind. Sadly, today, most people want to make money. Very few want to earn it. And I'll share with you a survey by Gallup, which said 63% of people who go to work, they are disengaged.
That's
Means
correct.
they don't do their job. And additional 24% are actively disengaged, which means they don't let others do the job either. That means only 13% of people who go to work actually do their job. The same survey said one more thing, and that is with the social media the way it is, people go to work, and during working hours, they spend 2, 3, sometimes even 4 hours on personal social media. Tell me, is that what you're getting paid for? Is that what you're getting paid for? Now, if somebody steals your wallet, what do you call that person? A thief. When people do such things, what are we? Thieves.
Correct.
We need to understand, is this not a big, big integrity issue? It's a big time integrity issue. And one more thing, people who do such things, they steal, they tell lies, and you will see their behavior very different when the boss is in the office and the boss is not in the office. People's behavior change. People have seen on CCTV cameras. Why would it change? It is a big integrity issue. And one more thing. Somebody said, why does the behavior change when the boss is there or is not there? And many times people go to work and they say, I see so many things wrong happening in my organization, in my department, but I do my job, I come back, I mind my own business, I come back, I don't want to ruffle the feathers, and I mind my own business, and that's about it. Let me ask you, you see wrong happening in your organization, you remain silent. Do you have integrity? Where is your integrity? And second reason, why do they remain silent? You know why? When they mess up, they expect the other person to remain silent too.
That's right.
Tell me, is this not a big integrity issue? Major, major integrity issue. See, this is what is going on today. And sadly, they're not teaching these things in schools and colleges today.
Yeah.
They are not teaching this stuff. And that is what our 4-day program is all about when we talk of leadership. And you see, I do corporate training. And when we do corporate training, I tell them that, look, what I am doing in your company is repair work. If you prepare them, you won't have to repair them. So money is very important.
Yes.
But many times in the pursuit of money, we lose out the things that money just cannot buy.
Yeah.
See, money can buy you amusement, but not happiness. Money can buy you books, but not wisdom. Money can buy you a bed, but not sleep. Money can buy you a companion, but not a friend. Money can buy you a clock, but not more time.
Yeah.
Money can buy you food, but not appetite. See, money can buy you a house, but not a home. Money can buy you medicine, but not good health. Money can buy you a ring, but not a marriage. The most precious things in money can buy you a bed, but not sleep.
Yeah.
See, the most precious things in life, money just cannot buy. But let me close this. In our program, we share one thing in our leadership, that it is the moral obligation of every good human being, value-based good human being. It is a moral obligation to become a multimillionaire and a billionaire. Why? Because I learned one thing. Money in good hands always does good. Money in evil hands always does evil. And sometimes people ask me, Mr. Khera, there's a billionaire. He doesn't need to do any more. Probably many generations can eat money and they will not run out of it anyway. Why does a billionaire continue to eat and want to make more and more and more? I said, my friend, there are two kinds of billionaires. One kind of a billionaire who is suffering from inferiority complex. He's like a snake. He's making comparisons with the world. Oh, they have 100 million, I must have 200 million. They got 200, I must have 300. 300, 500. 500, I got a billion. You see, they are making comparisons. If I have less than this, I'm inferior. They're keeping a score. That's like a snake who sits on his money, does nothing. But there's a second kind of a billionaire. Warren Buffett got $40, $50 billion, gave 90% of the money to charity. Tata's 66% of that wealth goes in. And they say the more I have, the more I give. The more I have, the more I give. The more I have.
I like that. So it's a good dichotomy of having money, like, because people either say, oh, pursuing money is not such a great thing. Pursue happiness, don't pursue money. But like you said, there are certain things that money can generate. You can do so many good things with money. At the same time, it's not the only thing. If you have money and if you don't have all the other things, like as you said, you can't really buy everything from that money, right? What are some of the things that you've seen, since you talked about, high net worth individuals? What are their top 2-3 values that you've seen, which has seen them succeed and which you've seen them constantly living, since we're talking about values?
Well, don't go by what are the values that I've seen with high net worth people. Some have made the money the honest way, they've earned it. Some have made the crooked way. So their values are different.
Sure.
And there are companies within India which probably have exceeded and surpassed even Tata's. I'm not going to name them.
Sure.
I have no respect for them.
Sure.
But you see, the companies like the Tatas, the Infosys, the Godreges, people respect them because they have stood by the principles in life. So just making money is not the answer.
Yeah.
And there are people, and sadly today, the parameter of success has become, the measure has become your bank balances and monies. But important thing is, they have forgotten it is our relationship balance.
Yeah.
It is our relationship balance. And you notice one thing, Ritu, that people who have great relationships, what they can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. Now, I address many business schools. And in the business schools that teach Joint Chamber of Commerce, Rotaries, Lions, Thai, go, network. And you ask them, what are you doing? Networking. Why are you networking? I'm building contacts. Why are you building contacts? Someday he could be useful. Someday he could be
useful. Yeah.
Useful. Now, usefulness goes, everything goes. Now, look, these people who only build contacts for usefulness, they're, in my opinion, manipulators, crooks, selfish people. They're only takers in life. You cannot build relationship. You know what they don't teach in business schools? The difference between building contacts versus building relationships. They don't teach. And I'll share with you one example. One day in Singapore, I came from dinner. And a man met me in the lobby and he asked me, Mr. Khera, you came from dinner? I said, yes, sir. And he said, I hope you met some people tonight. I said, yes, sir. And he said, I hope they could be useful to you. Look at this. I hope they could be useful to you. His meeting people criteria was usefulness, what he could extract. I felt like giving a piece of my mind and something else, my mind and something else. You know something? He does not understand that usefulness is a byproduct of relationship. Useful. If I have a friend of 20 years and tonight if he has a problem, he's not going to make new friends tonight. Most natural person, he will come to friend of 20 years. Is it my duty to help? Answer is yes. If I help him, am I doing a favor? No. If I don't help him, am I behaving like a friend? No. But the purpose is not usefulness. Usefulness is a byproduct of relationship. Now, what builds relationship? See, none of us is perfect. None of us is perfect. We all make mistakes. So, what is important is we need to become tolerant. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
Totally incorrect answer, Ritu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, put this answer.
You got me.
Totally incorrect answer. I don't like this word tolerance. You know, I would replace this word with mutual respect. I and my wife live together not because we can tolerate each other.
Yeah.
We live together because respect each other. The day the respect goes, you can't live together. Employers and employees work long-term together, not because they can tolerate each other. They work long-term together because they respect each other. And what brings the respect? It is our mutual respect. It is our alignment of values, which is what keeps us together. The moment that stops, it's all over. There's no relationship left.
I want to switch gears a little bit, Mr. Khera, on something that you probably touched upon a bit about relationships, about making time, things that money cannot buy, about this whole importance of pausing, right? Because there's this constant need and this constant pressure, whether it's through social media or just the way we operate is like, go, 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 like this constant running, this milestone achieved. Okay, now what's next? Don't rest on your laurels, like keep going to the next milestone, next milestone. What do you think is the importance of pausing? Firstly, is it important? And if it's important, why do you think it's important? And third one is, how can people intentionally build that pausing right in the beginning rather than when they hit a roadblock, like maybe they've fallen sick or maybe a relationship has fallen apart, then they realize, oh, we need to pause and take stock. So, what's your view on?
I'm writing my next book on relationship.
Okay.
And one of the subtitle is Learn to Resolve Conflicts, Don't Dissolve Relationships.
I love that.
Resolve conflicts, don't dissolve relationships. Now, let me share with you a little bit on that because my latest book came in, which was Live While You're Alive, with the subtitle, Take a Break Before You Break Down. Now, it's talking of once a young man went to a spiritual master and said, I hate my job. My boss is already messed up and he's a tyrant. I'm overworked, underpaid. This is typical. And I'm fed up. Give me a blessing. So the spiritual master said, so what kind of blessings should I give you? That you should be fired from your job? Is that the blessing I give you? He said, no, that'll be worse. So the spiritual master said, you got a job, you got a problem. You don't have a job, you got a problem. Now, do you see where is the problem and do you see who is the problem? Now, big thing is when you go therapists, they say, look, change scenes, go for a vacation, go to the mountains, go to the beaches. But this kind of mindset, I don't care. You can go to mountains and beaches, you carry the same problem together with you. It is an attitude. Do you see what we are talking about? And very crucial thing is, comes back to our attitude, integrity. You know something? There are many companies, especially when you're talking of entrepreneurship, there are many companies do tremendous amount of strategic planning and they're very good at it. But many companies fail in implementation. Now, why do they fail in implementation? You know why? Because strategy is your skill set. But who has to implement? Your people. And for people to implement, what do you need? Mindset. And now what is mindset? How do you define mindset? Attitude, leadership, motivation, values. Fourth thing, attitude, leadership, motivation, and values. See, our program title, leadership program, value-based leadership, with a subtitle, Grow by Creating a Culture of Trust and Accountability. Go check out, and you are a coach yourself. All over the world, the biggest challenge entrepreneurs are facing is what? Trust and accountability.
Yeah.
Trust and accountability. And many times people ask me, people who are successful, are they geniuses? I said, no. They're not geniuses, but many times they avoid stupid mistakes. I repeat, many times they avoid stupid mistakes. I just want to make one point, which is my new book coming up. You know, when we are kids, we write with a pencil. We start learning write with a pencil. And pencil has an eraser. So you make a mistake, you erase it. You make a mistake, you erase it. But as you grow up, somebody said, well, if the eraser wears out faster than the pencil, you are making too many mistakes in life. But as you grow up, you replace the pencil with a pen. Now you don't have the luxury of erasing all those things. So, ma'am, very crucial thing. Wise people learn from their mistakes, but wiser people learn from other people's mistakes. You know why? Because our lives are not long enough to make all of our own mistakes.
Yeah.
But some people never learn and they keep repeating their mistakes and then they say, I'm unlucky.
Yeah. Since you talked about mistakes, there's a question that's coming to my mind. You've done so much of work around in this space of leadership, understanding values, relationships. If you look back, have there been one or two mistakes that you've made in life as you look back?
Tons. I made many mistakes.
Tell the top two.
One major mistake I made in my life. Many times I got distracted with my focus. That is a big, big mistake. Stay focused, and stay focused. You get distracted, you dilute yourself. That is one. Number two, at one point in India, I was heading a political party and I resigned from my political party for two major reasons. Due to my health and financial reasons, both, I resigned from there. The country supported me, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that was my biggest mistake, that I resigned. And I feel I should not have resigned. I somehow should have managed and went over. But that was my major mistake. So these are two mistakes that I keep in mind, and that's important.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, because, it's not easy always to share and to acknowledge. So I'm glad. Thank you so much. I want to ask probably the last question maybe of our conversation is, what is one thing that you're really hopeful about as you look into the future?
Well, first of all, let me clarify with you, Ritu. Hope is not a strategy. See, there are many people say, I hope. Hope is not a strategy.
Right.
It's abstract.
Yeah.
We don't know. But there's a lot of chaos all over the world.
Yes.
A lot of chaos all over the world. And one can only hope that some good leadership comes up everywhere. We need to understand that we need to build our own country. And sadly, we need to understand that we need to have good people in the leadership role. And don't go by just GDP and all that stuff, 6.9% highest GDP and so on. Yeah, GDP is important. But you see, I was addressing one large group of people. I said, countries and companies are not built on skills.
Yeah.
They're built on character. You have a skillful doctor who lacks character, will do useless surgeries, useless procedures, and to them, a sick person is not a patient but a target. To a skillful lawyer who lacks character, a matter that can be resolved in 5 hearings will take 500 hearings. A skillful judge who lacks character will give judgments no justice. A skillful civil servant who lacks character will himself become mafia.
Right.
And don't we see that every day?
Yeah.
So we need to get some lessons clear today. We need good leadership globally, all over.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Khera. With that, we will wrap up our episode. Another episode of Thai Talks. I mean, I took away so much from this. Some of the things that stood out for me was, of course, value-based leadership or just value-based living. Doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur, you're a leader, you're a CEO, but define your values and stick to them, irrespective of what conflict you get into. The other piece that I took away, which is very relevant for all of us, is character and courage. Both need to go hand in hand. One without the other does not serve the long-term purpose or doesn't serve any purpose at all. And the third one is the importance of pausing. Don't just keep going because somebody else is going, because if you have to play the long-term game, you have to pause. With that, we would love to close this session of Thai Talks, another episode of Thai Talks, and we look forward to another episode soon. Thank you, Mr. Khera. What a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Take care.